Okay. Hi guys. Um, my name is Taylor. I've never done a live video before, so this is new to me. Hopefully it goes well. You'll have to let me know what you think in the comments. But um, if you guys have been on the channel, you've seen that I've done a lot of random computer tutorials, some programming tutorials, different things. I decided I want to try something new. So I am studying to be a software engineer, and I wanted to work on a big project, a personal project for a resume, and maybe even to publish um, as an actual service to earn money. And we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Um, You'll have to excuse me today. I have a bit of a cough, so I'm gonna be drinking a lot of water. Um, so anyway, let's get down to it. So what I'm building here. So I've been building this since yesterday, and I had this idea just a few days ago. And don't judge me if this seems like an odd idea, but this is the best I could come up with for right now. I wanted to build a big project, something that used front end, back end, scaling databases, just all these different services. And I've done a lot of programming in my life, but I've never done something at this scale, and I also haven't used a lot of these languages. So as you can see, I've got Java up on the screen. Excuse me, up on the screen, and I have used Java before. I built a pretty complex program for a class a couple years ago, but I haven't used it since then. So I'm definitely still getting back into the swing of things. I'm also using Spring Boot, which I've never used before. That's very new to me, but very cool. Um, you can see I'm also using some stuff like Jakarta, Persistence, and Lombok. I don't know if that's how you say those. And if these things are like super normal and boring, sorry, this is all super new to me. So you might be wondering how I've been able to do this. Um, I'm not really into vibe coding that much. I'll occasionally do it if I'm just trying to create a working concept for myself. Um, and just like I have a random idea for something, but I prefer to learn the code, learn why it works, how it works, and I love to build things as much as possible from scratch. Now, I'm not building everything from scratch, there's because of libraries and things, like I don't want to reinvent the wheel for everything. Maybe a couple things, um, but things like what is this called? Like Spring Boot, and I don't know. I can't remember what the thing is that lets us do these things. I think that's Jakarta. I can't remember. Anyway, so I've been learning how to do this with Gemini. Gemini is kind of my go-to for everything AI. I'm not really a cursor person. I do occasionally use cursor to help me find bugs in my code if I don't feel like copying and pasting all the context. But to be honest, I typically just use regular Gemini on the web. Now, I discovered this just a day or two ago, and it's fabulous. Um, One thing that has bugged me about Gemini is that if I have a long conversation going, oh, sorry, I'm yawning a lot. If I have a long conversation going and I want to ask a question about a part of it, it forces me to lose where I'm at and I have to like scroll back and find it. Well, I discovered this awesome hack. The Gemini panel built into Chrome now. If you open it up, you can open it on a page of Gemini, and it works the same as it would on any page. You can ask it questions about the page you're looking at. And so I use the main Gemini page for kind of my main queries. And then any questions I have or anything I'm like a little confused about, I ask on the side panel, and then I don't lose my spot. And it's a fabulous workflow. I do love it. But yeah, I'm really normal in my AI tool usage. So this is pretty much all we're going to be using today, unless I think of something else useful. I don't know. But yeah, we're coding in IntelliJ IDEA. Now I apologize. I've been rambling. Let me tell you the idea that's going on here. I'm creating a badge skill credential platform. What I mean by that is you've probably seen on websites like LinkedIn or Khan Academy or Code Academy, like where you do what do you call it? You take a quiz, you do a course, you do something, and you earn a badge, and it's like this little little skill achievement thing, and it's fun. It's a little picture, it's cute. Well, I mean, except for LinkedIn, that's a little more than just a picture. It's, to show your employer and stuff. I wanted to create something though that could be a badge for anything, any kind of skill, and be more than just an image, but be an actual verifiable credential that you can give to or show employers. So imagine a Reddit-like community. The way that this platform is going to work, I don't have a name for it yet, so it's just called Badge App. The way that it's going to work is somebody on the platform will propose a badge. So say they want a Photoshop expert badge, okay? So they call it like Photoshop Expert 1 or whatever. And they create maybe like a little description, but then most importantly, they create a list of requirements that any person would need to meet in order to earn the badge. Okay, now because not everybody is an expert in a certain topic, people might disagree on what constitutes a Photoshop expert. So this person proposes a badge and it goes up for a vote for a certain amount of time and anybody can vote on it. And if it gets enough votes, then it is minted. It is officially created. People can officially start earning it. Now, if people don't love it, they can propose changes or vote against it. And if it doesn't get enough votes, then it isn't made. So if somebody wants to earn one of these badges, then they do all the steps to meet the criteria, and then they will submit some sort of evidence, some sort of like project or video, whatever, to prove that they have met all of the requirements of that badge. And then again, the community will vote on if that person, based on their evidence, deserves the badge. Now, you might be wondering about spamming and bad actors and that kind of thing. My idea is that automatically, when you join the platform, everybody has a reputation score. And your reputation score gives you more or less weight in your vote. So if you just join the platform, you get a reputation score that's really low because you're just some random new user, you haven't been around. And so you can vote on things willy-nilly, but it might not really make very much of a difference, if at all. And so if we have, a whole bunch of people who are voting against somebody when they should be earning a badge, then their votes won't do much, and the people whose votes really matter will count. I've also thought of, if you propose a badge, you got to put some of your reputation on the line because we don't want spammy badges. So you have to put out a certain amount of reputation, and if it gets accepted, then excuse me, then you get the reputation back plus some. Now, if you earn a badge, you get reputation. I'm finding different ways to contribute, even like time on the platform, things like that, to help you get reputation so that people who have been there and are, respected members of the community can help contribute and vote and all those things. So that's the basic idea. Wow. I'm like cold, guys. Something about streaming, this is weird. I'm tempted to grab a blanket, but I won't right now. Now, in terms of making these verifiable for employers, sorry, and not just little cute pictures, I am thinking of using the Open Badge 3.0 standard. I haven't read too much into it, but from what I understand, it's some sort of open source platform that lets you embed special metadata into an image file to basically prove its authenticity. And then that standard is compatible with some websites like LinkedIn, I think. So you'd put your badge out there and employers would see it and maybe they think like, oh, that's cool. But if they actually want to see what it means, they can click on it and it'll take it to a special page on the platform that will show the badge, who earned it, when they earned it, how long it's valid for, and also all of the requirements they had to meet to earn the badge, as well as the evidence that they submitted. So the employer would be able to see directly the project that a person contributed to earn a badge. And then they can decide if they think it's worth anything. So it's not a perfect system. Obviously, even though it's because it's community based, there's going to be flaws, and it might sort of feel like the Wikipedia of credentials, where anyone can contribute. So what really matters? But I'm hoping that it can become a reputable platform itself, so that employers can start trusting it, and even if they don't trust everybody's votes, they can at least go and see the evidence themselves, and it acts as a sort of portfolio project sort of thing. So that's all that. Like I said, we're building this in Java and Spring Boot. I'm using Postgres for a database. And actually, I better open up Docker so that we can use Postgres. So, excuse me, I'm talking a lot. Okay. I'm gonna need to stop talking soon and just code a little more. But I made a Docker Compose file to set up the database. So I've got Docker running. Okay. And then I'm hoping to use React for the front end and several other tools later down the road. But right now we're just doing the Java. Wow. Hi, where are you from, bro? I am from Utah. What about you? So this is really weird. I honestly did not expect anybody to watch this. This is like a first time thing. So to Muddy Wheels Adventures. How's it going? I'm also not signed into the chat on OBS where I'm recording, so I can't like reply directly on it, but somehow I'm able to see stuff. Oh, Pakistan, that's cool. Are you a programmer or you just interested in it? Yeah, let me know. Okay. And then we're doing a model view controller thing, which is new to me. So let's get into it. Let me show you. This is the first thing I built after the Docker Compose itself. This is our user class. So we've got all of our imports, and then if you're unfamiliar with these things, I can't remember. Okay, Jakarta. It's from this library called Jakarta Persistence, and it essentially builds your SQL for you. An agency owner. That's cool. Like what kind of agency? Like coding or something else? Or like an ad agency. So this will build SQL for us so that we don't have to write all of the commands on ourselves. So we also don't have to convert the Java objects into, I almost said JavaScript objects, the Java objects into, we don't have to figure out how to make it talk to the database. This just does it for us. Really cool. Developing websites, apps, and software. That's super cool, bro. That's really awesome. I am looking for jobs. So if you're hiring, let me know. Don't know how that works in Pakistan, but anyway, that's awesome. Yeah, so just for anyone who's wondering what's going on here, first we're defining an entity. So this is a table, user's table. It's called app user, and I named it user originally, but apparently that is not allowed because that's a keyword in, I don't remember if it was Java or what it was from, but that's some sort of keyword. So it's app user. That's the table, but we're going to refer to them, as users throughout the code. Cool. And now we've created some indexes. So I just recently learned about indexes in a SQL, like a database class. So I'm still pretty new to that concept, but we're indexing on the user ID. So this is the primary key for interacting with the database. And then also on user ID, which is a different ID, I'll explain in a moment. And of course, yeah, these have to be unique. Adding getter and setter here is part of Lombok. I don't know if that's how you pronounce that. But it automatically creates setters and getters for us, so we don't have to type them out all ourselves. And then the noargs constructor, also, I believe it's it makes it so that we don't have to make a constructor unless we want to. So we don't have to like type one out ourselves. Okay. So this ID right here is a long, and it's automatically generated. And the way this works, this generation type dot entity is it just increments like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now that's not very secure, but it's faster in the database. So I've also developed this user ID. Now this is a randomly generated UUID, and it is what will be used for any public APIs, or not public APIs, but like when the front end is calling the database. Sorry, calling the backend. It will use this. Okay, so but these are like complex strings, and so they're not as fast if they're used as the primary key. So they're not. And I believe, I want to think ID is the primary key, I think. I'm pretty sure that signifies primary key. I'm sorry, and I had Gemini. Gemini wrote most of this code, but I spent a long time trying to figure out what it was doing. And then I like to learn things from from Gemini and then write them myself, even like instead of copying, it just feels better. And I don't want to get in the habit of just copying code. So right now, I'm kind of taking its word for how to do stuff. But once I kind of get my footing, then I'll be building a lot more on my own. Okay, then we've got a username. And this right here defines the length of the varchar that's being used in the SQL. So I guess when using Jakarta persistence, by default, a string will be a varchar of 255 characters, I think. But I didn't want to take up that much space because we don't need that much space. So I settled on 20 for now. And then we've got our reputation score. I have it set to 0.01 right now. Could change later, we'll see. And then a role for later. Yeah. And then I've got a repository. This is a new concept that I'm also figuring out that is used in Spring Boot and the model view controller thing. Essentially, this is an interface that is an intermediary to talk to the database so that my logic isn't directly communicating with the database. It adds some special functions by default. So it adds, what is it? Like find user by ID, I think, is built into it. But I added these other ones. Still not fully sure on that one, but figuring it out. Light is bright. And then I started building this controller. This is to receive our API calls and yeah, get the users. So now that's all out of the way, excuse me, I probably won't be talking quite as much, but I'll try to explain what I'm doing, what I'm seeing, and yeah, feel free to ask questions if there's anybody out there. So, okay, I think I need to figure out how to start the database. That was... I don't remember. So it knows what my badge app is because it's listens to all my conversations and stuff, which sometimes is really annoying, but it's too helpful for me to disable it. So, because I don't want to have to re-explain this whole thing to it every time. Okay. To start the database, we need to run the Docker container using this. Okay, let's put this in the README real quick. Let's do setup. Okay, open Docker desktop and run this command. Let's run it ourselves. Cool. That was easy. Now I need to figure out how to make a new user. So, excuse me. Sorry if I spike the volume. All right. Okay, so we have this find thing, we have get user. Let's make a create user. So we'll do get mapping, do public. Actually, hold up. This is post. Okay, let's see. How to do post call in Jakarta. I don't think that's what I meant. Spring Boot. Or is that what I meant? Hold up. That might have been. Okay. You can perform a post call using either the modern web client or traditional REST template. This is the preferred non-blocking approach. Good, because I don't want to block the UI or anything. Okay. So we have this web client, which I think, no, I guess we're not using it. Now we need to create a URL. Guess that makes sense. I think my default URL is like localhost 5432. Okay. Now we create a my response object. What is that? Okay. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Be right back. All right, we're back. Yeah, I got a blanket because I'm cold. Okay. Right, we're trying to figure out how to do a post request. So I'm trying to figure out what my default URL is. I know, okay, so I got this wrong. So my database is 5432. Um, I don't have like a Nginx or anything running, so I don't really know what. It's in my configuration files and source main resources. Like this. Oh yeah, that's my username and password there. Um, Dude, I'm cold. This is comfortable. So they want us to use 8080. It's defined by request mapping and post mapping annotations, but I didn't specify that anywhere. This is Spring Boot default. Where is that default declared? It's a combination of your server configuration and your Java code. Okay, here it is. So if we didn't define it in, excuse me, in here, then it is by default localhost 8080. So what would happen if I go to localhost, wait, no, how does it work? Localhost, I can't remember the syntax for this. Right. So I want to see if there's a command in the terminal to see if anything is actually running on localhost 8080. Okay, so I can curl it. Let's do that. Wait, what is the curl? A lot of new things I'm learning, y'all. Include the HTTP response headers. I see. Okay, let's do that. Failed. Okay, what if we do comment this out? All right, let's try the API/users. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we're back. Okay, the database is running. I don't know. My server is running. Let's run this real quick. Nothing. Okay. How do I start it? Come on. You know, sometimes I use this, I use thinking and it takes way longer than I feel like it should. I think sometimes it gets stuck in a loop. And I feel like that happens a lot more when I use the Pro. I feel like it gets even more stuck. But it's not giving me an option to skip the thinking. Okay. Oh, yeah, I definitely wasn't using that. So we are using Maven. Okay. Tell me about this. Okay, it uses the Maven wrapper. Yes, I know where that is. So that thing, that's right here. It's an executable script, lets you run Maven commands without actually having Maven installed on my machine. I don't know whether or not I do have it installed on my machine. I'm not sure. Either way, Spring Boot run, a goal provided by the Spring Boot Maven plugin. What is a goal? It compiles the source code, adds necessary dependencies, and starts the application. This is the standard way to launch your app during development because it handles the build and run process in one step. And how to stop it. Well, for now, let's go into our README. Let's see. No, this is okay. Start the server. We're gonna say development uses that. because there might be something different for production. Excuse me. And then I can just do Control C. Okay. Cool. Okay, let's run it. What's gonna happen? Ooh. Okay, lots of green and blue. That's good. Okay, I can never tell if this is good or not. Okay, I've seen this before. We did this once. Yada, yada, yada. I think these are good messages. Says it's running. Cool. So now we make requests to it. So we'll open up another one and we will say curl -I. I think we put it in quotes. http:// localhost 8080. Well, let's see if anything comes up from that first. Oh, we had something. Okay, application JSON chunked. We got a timestamp. We got a 404. 404 is like the resource not found, I think. Which is fine because I don't think we have anything defined at our default path. So let's try API/users. Awesome. That is exactly what I hoped we would see. An empty list. Okay. Wow. I'm cool, guys. Okay. Now we know what our API or what our URL is for now. So we're going to add the web client. And then I don't know what this thing is. What is this? We create a web client object. Oh, I guess maybe my response comes from the web client class or something like that. Okay, so Reactor Core Publisher Mono is a class from Project Reactor, which is the library used by Spring Boot for reactive non-blocking programming. It's a specialized publisher that emits at most one item, either 0 or 1, before completing. It's asynchronous, non-blocking, allows you to chain operations like map, flat map, or filter that only execute once the data actually arrives. In the context of web client, Mono is used to handle the API response body without locking up your operations threads. Application starts. Okay, cool. So let's put this over here. Minimize this for a second. Oh, wait, hold up. No, wait, yeah. Wait, sorry, I get confused. I feel like when I resize this, when I resize the window, it like scrolls to the top of this. I don't know, it's weird. Okay. So we need to do this in the controller. Oh wait, I remember the way I did this before. I have the sidebar thing here, right? Yeah. I did like that or something, and then I would just snap this to whatever side of the window I need. Okay. Okay. So let's import org Spring Framework web client. Oh, wait, no, we're not doing the REST template. Sorry, org Spring Framework web reactive, right? Function. What's wrong with it? You don't like reactive? Web client. Okay, it is not happy about that for some reason. What's wrong with this symbol? Okay, this error occurs because Spring WebFlex dependency is missing from your project. Web client is part of the reactive stack, not the standard web starter. Add the following dependency to your build file. Is there a way to add dependencies via terminal? Yes. Kind of. Fastest terminal approach. Echo implement. Now that's not for. Okay, so it said to have us go into the pom.xml, which is right here. And we need to add a dependency. I wonder how it organizes these. I'll add it right here. Ooh, fancy. Dependency, the group ID, org Spring Framework dot boot. But that's not the artifact thing I want. Spring boot starter web flux. Now it doesn't like that. It also doesn't like the version. How about that? Is that okay? Let me just try copying this. Okay, it does not like the artifact ID. Doesn't know which version to download. Sometimes the ID doesn't realize the file's been changed. Click Maven on the right, so hit save. Click Maven and refresh it. Nope, doesn't like that. Okay. Latest version. Webhooks. Okay. What is the latest stable version? 4.10, 4.0. Okay. So let's try version 4.1. Oh. Does not like that. Wait, when did it fix itself? What? Okay. Cool. Suggested plugin reactive streams. What is that? Reactive. Wait, could it? That's not something I would have installed here, I don't think. I don't know what this does. Oops. Ignore vulnerable dependency. Okay, whatever. Okay, that's fine now. And then we'll be wrapping up in about 5 minutes here. But I do want to see if I can get this post working. Okay, we got that. Excuse me. Now we import reactor.core.publisher.mono. Okay, like that. Okay, so now we need to create a post. So let's get rid of that. And let's, where do I put it? Oh, I see. Wait, hold up. Web client Maven. Oh, but I meant in the controller. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, because they have me a little confused. Key difference is the at-rest controller acts as the server. It receives the HTTP requests from a client, returns a response. The web client acts as the client. It sends out HTTP requests from your application. Oh, wait, no, I didn't want to do that. I'm so confused. I guess I'd be writing post in my React. What was I thinking? Oh, okay. Okay. Undo. Let's see. Yeah. Wait, I just realized something. Oh, the command the command I used to run the server, I used just by hitting the play button before. Let's do that, because that might make more sense. That's a little better. Well, I guess it's not really that different, but I mean, I guess that does separate the terminal out, whatever, it's fine. Okay. So I meant I need to receive post, right? Because we'll make the post with, wow, it's cold. We'll make the post with curl. Okay. Explain this to me. So we need to do REST controller. Is that right? This class is a controller where every method. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. We're already doing REST controller. So the mapping. Okay. Okay. We need to make like a new user. So what? Let's see. What is a standard endpoint for new user? Just post to users? I guess that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so we have, right, we have the controller, blah, blah, blah. Okay, it's it's thinking I'm trying to do something else. It doesn't know that I'm talking about users. Okay, I see. So we do post mapping. Gotcha. Post mapping. Yeah, we don't need to add anything else there. Oh, it says response entity. So I need to create a new user. Response entity. Oh. Response entity is, hold up. That's in here. No, I'm confused. I need to create a new user. Okay. Right, we have the controller receives a request, and then the service does the business logic. Okay, we do need to work on making the service. That will probably be a different day. Okay, we got all this. Response entity user, create user, saved user service dot user, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I see now. So we do public and then a response entity. What is that? Find out in a moment. Of type user. Yep, and we want to create new user and add to the request body type user, name user. Cool. Now we need to send the user into the user service, which is yet to be made. And so what does the user service look like? Does validation, blah, 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 encryption. And then user service dot save user. So let's put that in here for now. So we want a type user. This is a save user. Okay. So we'll be running our user service, which we haven't made yet. We'll do save user and passing it in the user. So we'll comment this out for now. And then we'll return a response entity dot status. You know, I wish they would tell us what these things did. Quick documentation. Okay. That doesn't tell. Quick definition. No. We'll look at it later. HTTP status dot created. And then we do dot body saved user. Okay, cool. So we are going to be looking into this next time. Okay, so thanks for sticking it out with me, guys. But today was mostly introductions, but we did also start building our post request and kind of just figured out a little bit more of what's going on and understanding the server itself. We did a successful GET request, even though there's no users. Oh, we figured that out. So next time I'm hoping to get create user fully implemented, including the user service, and figuring out what this code means. So anyway, thanks for watching with me, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.